start now, sir?
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
Your call, yeah. All right.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Navin. Thank you for your time, sir, to help us in this assignment. Before we dive into this interview session, we are from Bachelor of Public Relations with Contemporary Media, semester 5, and it is our pleasure to have you in this interview to fulfill this requirement for our group assignment. Okay, for your information, Mr. Navin, basically in this assessment, we need to conduct an interview with a PR expert or corporate communication manager to discuss our proposed crisis communication plan, CCP, and crisis management team, CMT, with we need to present our plans and seek of your expert feedback. Okay, so we need to choose a company or create a imaginary company, and then need to identify or describe two potential crisis situation that an organization might face.
Alright.
So we choose Nova as our imaginary company to this assignment. So by your feedback and with this understanding by your perspective and experience of public relations is very essential for comprehending the dynamics and challenges in creating the best team structure and mitigate the crisis. So before we go through to the interview, so to start our interview today, could you share a little bit about your career as a professional PR expert or in corporate communication, or how you start in PR? So Mr. Navin, the floor is yours.
Thank you, ADLI. All right. I believe you all heard of me from Madam Zanaria, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll just try and keep it short. Well, I'm also from Uniza, like you guys. I graduated in 2017. Public relations was one of my courses when I was doing Bachelor of English and Comms. I guess my interest in PR came about when I was first introduced to Madam Zanaria, and from there somehow, slowly got like into it a bit. But of course, I didn't really see it as a career at the start. It just so happens during the internship when everyone was rushing to apply here and there, and the company that I'm now with, Minkage and Associates, or you can shorten it as MK's Associates, they were like the only client that were responding to me very quickly and to rope me in for the internship lah. So I've been with this company actually. I started there in 2017 internship for 3 months and was absorbed as a permanent staff for most 1 years. But I left at that point in time, being in sales and marketing positions, and then I came back to the same company in December 2021. Yeah, I'm back at Minkage and Associates. So yeah. So if wondering what do I do as a PR person, I mean, we're actually consultants. We actually name ourselves PR consultants, where we advise clients how to, I wouldn't say brand, because that one I think that one I leave it to the marketing agencies to do that. We're more like the people who take care of your client's image. All right. Let's just say any client can get into any news, but what is the message that they want to say or what they want to portray? I mean, they can say whatever Tom, Dick, and Harry that they want, but they need to be precise on what they want to say, because if not, how is the media like News Straits Times, The Star, or Bernama going to carry your story? If you're like, okay, so what? They're going to be asking, so what? So we are the people to, advise these clients on how to go about with their message for any certain event before, media comes and have a press conference with them or interview with them. So that's one. We also handle issues management, which is also related to crisis communications or management we're doing right now. It's just that in where I'm working at, we call it issues management because we try to sort things out before it becomes a crisis. So, yep. So these are the services that are provided in my end, basically. So if you're wondering how many years it's been I think 5 years. Yeah, about 5 years being the PR line.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah.
seem like you are very focused. Like when you intern, the company absorb you to a permanent staff.
Yes, that's right. I do my
Okay.
best, but yeah, somehow made it lah. Yeah,
Okay. So without further ado, we will continue to our objective agenda
sure.
today.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is a organizational structure for Nova company.
All
So
right.
myself as Muhammad ADLI as a chief executive officer,
CEO.
and
Yeah.
then yes, also as a spokesperson for this company, main spokesperson. Okay, then 90 minutes.
Okay.
Introduce yourself. 90 minutes.
Okay, as a Chief Communication Officer, my name is Muhammad.
Okay. All right. AQIL. All right.
Okay, I'm Fasihah and I as a public relation officer.
Fasihah, you have the top job here. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. I'm Puteri Anis as a chief legal officer.
All right, Anis. Yep. Okay. Last but not least.
Last but not
Hi,
least.
I'm ADIBAH as Chief Financial Officer.
Finance. Okay, got it. All right.
Okay, this is a organizational structure for top management in this company. We have more workers. This is imaginary company. So basically, this is
Top management lah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So next, crisis management team. So basically, so I will start first with our crisis
Sure.
management team from our company, which is Nova. Basically, I am CEO of this company, and also will be the spokesperson regarding the company overall operation.
Right.
Of course, I will be the spokesperson for the crisis that company will be had. But on the other hand, the backup spokesperson in the company during the crisis is often will be a designated member of executive team, such as the Chief Communication Officer, CCO, Chief Operating Officer, COO, or our public relation profession. Okay, this individual will step in to address the public, media, and also stakeholder. If the CEO is unavailable, or if it's more strategic for someone else to take the lead in communication during the crisis. So for my role as a CEO and also a spokesperson for this company is basically need to lead the team with strategic plan. The CEO need to provide strong leadership within the organization, working with legal and financial teams to navigate the crisis, reassure employees, and continuously evaluate and adapt strategies. Beside that, I also need clear communication. The CEO must transparently communicate details of the crisis to the public, media, and also corrective action for both the product recall and financial challenges. And the last one, during the crisis and post-crisis, so me as a CEO must responsible to rebuilding trust from our stakeholder. I need to implement a post-crisis reputation management plan by emphasizing preventive measure, rebuilding customer trust, and demonstrating a commitment to preventing similar issues in the future. So next we will continue by my team, Chief Communication Officer.
Okay, for my role is a key executive responsible for managing and overseeing an organization communication strategies. I play a crucial role in shaping and maintaining the company's public image through effective communication with various stakeholders. Okay, for my responsibility is message development, As you can see, I craft consistent key message, and the second one is media relation, manage relationship control and information flow, and the last one is monitor sentiment, adjust strategies. I will pass to the Chief Operating Officer.
So next, for Chief Operating Officer, my responsibility is to monitoring the company's daily activities, and second is ensuring that business operations are productive, and then lastly is maintain updated on key performance indicator KPIs to discover item for upgraded.
Regulation is to develop publicity strategies and campaign for the organization. And the second one is to provide press release for organization if the organization face a crisis.
And monitor and analysis public opinion about the organization.
We move to Chief Legal Officer.
Alright, for my position as a Chief Legal Officer. Alright, for my responsibility in this company is I develop a code of conduct and ethical standards for the company. And then second is provide legal advice and guidance on company's management team. And lastly is I identify a legal risk that the company may face and develop strategies to mitigate the risk that occur in this company.
Okay, the last one is Chief Financial Officer, CFO. Okay, the responsibility is manage finance and accounting, and tracking cash flow and financial planning. And the last one is assess the company's financial strength and weakness and suggest improvement.
Next, we will move to Crisis Communication Plan, CCP.
Okay, sir. For our topic that we choose on MOFA.
Yep.
Okay. I will take the responsibility to do because Fasihah line was lagging.
No worries, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we have choose two potential crises. For the first one is product recall. Nova may face crises such as product recall due to the safety concerns. A product recall, such as the exploding phone incident, may require immediate action to identify the cause, the affected product, and implement strict quality control measures to prevent future incident.
Yes.
Okay. The second one is financial crisis. An exploding Nova phone could cause a financial crisis that includes recall costs, legal bills, damage control for the company's reputation, and possibly a drop in sales, market share, and investor confidence.
Are you okay, guys?
For objective for product recall for Nova company is to develop a comprehensive communication strategy to effectively inform stakeholders, the public, clients, employees, and staff about the product recall. And then the second objective is to create a comprehensive strategy for product recalls, outlining a clear written procedure and instructions to ensure that customer safety and address potential issues. And then the last one objective is conduct a comprehensive post-crisis analysis to identify lessons learned and update quality control procedures, product development workflows, and crisis communication guidelines.
Okay.
Okay, next will be targeted audience.
Okay, for the targeted audience, we choose four. The first one is customer to assure safety via emails and social media. Second one is media to provide accurate info through press release, press conference, and so on. Third one is shareholders to resteward which official statement, and the last one is employees maintain moral via internal communication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's for the
Yep.
target audience.
Yep.
Okay, so for the key message for this potential crisis, which is product recall, I have provided three key message for this crisis, which is first one is we will ensure you will get access to the most recent information. We are investigating the matter carefully and will keep you informed the detail as soon as possible. The second key message is we prioritize the safety and well-being of our stakeholder as our top priority. We have implemented safety procedure and cooperate with appropriate authorities. And the last key message for this potential crisis, which is we are committed to preventing the reoccurrence of similar crises in the future. We will conduct an in-depth review of our strategies, improve the risk assessment procedure, and invest in advanced technology. Okay.
Alright, for objective for financial crisis, first is to prioritize consumer safety by quickly educating people about potential risks related to phones that explode and by clearly outlining how to handle the impact device. The second objective is to develop a strategy to regain market share and revenues through target advertising, sales, and activities while enhancing product quality and safety protocols. And the last one is to identify the actions be taken to lessen financial loss and regain investor trust in the long-term sustainability of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for the key message, we are prepared to accept accountability and sustain this. We are committed to running an investigation to discover the cause of the crisis. Second one, if we fully acknowledge the importance of building emergency fund during a crisis, we will implement the financial preparedness to address unforeseen financial crisis. And the last one is we are committed to open and transparent communication with our investor. We will communicate our financial report in order to be a company with credibility. Okay, we go to the next slide.
So for the communication channels, we choose two channels to communicate with our stakeholder and our audience. So we will communicate with our audience via multiple channels such as email, text, toll-free customer service phone number, and many more. We will provide updates not only online but also via traditional channels. For example, a customer may have a problem with the product from our company but cannot pick it up because our center is closed. In this case, they may call, email, or text ours, so we keep an eyes on all these channels and respond to them. And then the next one is social media. Social media is widely used as a crisis communication tool. For example, our organization will use Twitter as a main social media during a crisis. We can post company updates and notification on Twitter as often as necessary. Our audience can retweet and respond to ours, and other Twitter users also can give a feedback about that. In addition, other social media that we'll also use is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and also YouTube. That's all for me.
Okay, for crisis response strategy, as mentioned recently, they have two issues, which is a product recall and financial crisis. And for this section, they have a divide to three categories, which is pre-crisis, during crisis, and post-crisis. For product recall, that response strategies during pre-crisis, which is first constantly alert on the system, which is always keep focus at identifying each response to product problem, and then risk assessment planning, that is always be prepared for any risk that may occur with the product once released. And lastly is product recall plan as an initial action in preparing for a crisis. Create a product recall plan, and for during crisis is immediately respond. The organization immediately release a statement regarding the incident, for example press release, and then provide accurate information to explain the customer with accurate and correct information of the problem faces. And lastly is product recall, to replace the product that is faulty. The organization must immediately execute a product recall. And for post crisis is first investigate the causes, which is try to fix the problem. The organization team conducted investigation regarding the problem identified, and then problem improvement plan. After investigate the problem, try to identify and make improvement. And lastly, customer service and compensation. Help affected customer by providing compensation or repair to rebuild the trust between customer and organization. And for response strategy for financial crisis, for pre-crisis, first thing first is financial monitoring. Organization try to analyze financial situation in order to recognize potential problem with a finance, and then financial risk plan to deal with any unexpected financial issue. The organization must work together to develop a plan for action. And then during a crisis, first thing first is deliver accurate information, which is the planned financial team must provide truthful and accurate data about any financial concern that exists to external and internal stakeholder. And then financial risk plan education. The financial management team must construct a financial risk education strategy, especially during a crisis happen. And then for post-crisis, financial restoration strategy, that is create a financial recovery strategy to help the company financial recover. And then lastly is build the trust of stakeholder, to establish an approach for convincing stakeholder, investigator and customer that the company finance are now more stable after recovering from the crisis.
So, Navin, the presentation about the CCP and CMT. So, what your suggestion or feedback? How do how we improve our management team, or how we improve the plans to mitigate the crisis?
So a comment, can you go back to the last two slides?
Last two slide. Okay.
Because I'm fine with everything else. Let me see.
Yes.
So the product recall is this, all right. The next one is the
Financial.
slide, please. Okay. Frankly, I'm fine with all the steps that you all propose. It's well detailed. Maybe my only comment is, before you execute all this, is perhaps, having in mind what kind of message do you want to tell your audience before the crisis happens, actually. Maybe a certain, headline that's strong enough to tell the audience, like, hey, yes, this has happened, but it's business as usual. We're fine, but we'll explain further in detail accordingly. You know what I mean? That'll be the only thing from my side, because before any crisis happen, it's important to have the right message in your head before you go out there to give a press conference and all that. We you know may have a lot of things to say, but you don't want to be all over the place also lah. If not, the media will be catching you saying all a slip of the tongue or anything wrong that you say. So I think the only thing you can add is, maybe somewhere at the pre-crisis, having the right message or coming up with the right message, something like that. You know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense here, but that would be the only thing lah before you execute all these necessary steps lah. Yeah. I saw your target channels, traditional and social media.
Social media.
So I just want to double check. You don't foresee any media like, I think you all know the famous titles like New Straits Times, The Star. You don't foresee them coming after you, is it? Or you kind of like foresee it, but you're not really sure how to handle them. Is that? I'm just trying to figure out this part. Yeah. So. But if you ask me frankly, they come under traditional media lah. Can we go back to that slide perhaps? Yeah, they come under traditional channels because actually who reads newspapers these days lah, other than your parents or yeah. But they are still, I would say they're still crucial because people are still encouraged to read the newspapers. Some even prefer to read the newspaper instead of looking at your phone, having an eye strain and all that. But yeah, if you ask me, they are called mainstream media, guys. When I say NST, the Star, Bernama, the next time, you just consider them as mainstream media. And they play a crucial role in how you get your news out there to the public also, all right? And don't be surprised in such cases, a crisis happens, they'll come after you, lah, all right? So, but if you ask me how you want to handle them, it's of course, again, come back to what message you want to tell the public. And normally we do this with press release, or we call it a holding statement. A strong holding statement where you just say like, yes, this problem has happened, but you always say a but, we're doing so and so to, prevent it happening again in the future, or you're doing something to, prevent it from getting worse, something along that lines. That'll be the only comments I could give on this part. But otherwise,
So,
yep.
if we say but in this that statement, like we as a denial for that statement for that problem.
Yes, you have a point there, Adli, but
Yes.
words can play a crucial role in how you turn a negative into a positive. You can say but you make sure behind that but you have something positive to say.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
You can say something positive about what the company is going to do next and all that. So that can help in toning down the crisis or the crisis fever or like the issues fever. All right. Again, it comes back. Yeah. That but word can be a risky word, I know, but
Yes.
as long as you have the right mindset, like what you want to say in a positive way to your audience, or what you have in mind to offer them in return to overcome the flaws on your end, I think it should be safe to use still. So, yeah, shouldn't be an issue. Yeah. But I would give credit to you all for the steps that needs to be taken. Well done on that. But yeah, I would say maybe somewhere in the slides you have to say message, having the right message first. Then all these executions come into play next. Yeah, somewhere in your slides or yeah. Yes, I hope I'm making sense. Any other questions perhaps, or yeah.
Yes. So we have a few questions for our team members.
Yep. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Ms. Navin,
Yes, welcome.
for our first question, in your opinion, what are the key components of an effective crisis communication strategy?
Components. Okay. I can't emphasize enough on having the right message before you even handle any issue. Again, as I say, words play a very crucial role in how you deliver what you want your public to perceive you, and before things go overboard. So always make sure you know the right things to say, but of course don't come up with something fake. You also want to show a bit of transparency so that your audience can trust you. All right. So when you come up with a headline, okay, in where I work, in case associates, you always, imagine yourself being in the newspaper. So you have to imagine what kind of headline do you want to see in the newspaper, what sub headline you want to see in the newspaper. That should help you craft your message in a way to handle such, issues management or crisis communications, as you call it. Yeah. All right. So always, maybe perhaps as a team, you brainstorm with one another, on like what you want to tell the media first, because the media is where you channel your news. What you want to say to the media first, get that right, and then from there you eventually, step by step, you get the message, like what you want to tell your audience, your customers or your users. Everything will fall into place eventually. So you always have to start with the messaging. Yeah. All right. So I would say that that's the important component. The second component perhaps is perhaps knowing your target audience or your target market. All right. Because yes, you can come up with the right words, but are those words relevant for the specific market or the specific customer? All right. So know your customers better first before you come up with the headline or whatsoever. You see, if in the media, like News Straits Times, for example, you have different desks or different sections, like you have news desk, you have business desk, you have lifestyle desk, and so on. They all can't carry the same headline. Am I right? I think you all can agree with that. Yeah. So you have to, study, like, when this issue happens, which segment does it affect? Does it affect the news desk or does it affect the business desk? Example, yeah. So let's just say your issue affects the business side of things. Then you have to come up with a headline like, oh, you must have a strong headline that talks about the business, like saying you are affected, but we have a comeback, something like that. You know what I mean? And of course, the sub headline has to support that. Yeah. So those are the two main components I would say, yeah, are crucial when you handle such cases, lah. Yeah. Right.
Okay, next question.
Mr. Navin,
Yes, I know.
uh, how do you handle communication in the initial stage of a crisis before all details are known?
Initial stage. Okay. You all should know when anything happens, the client will come running to us first. All right. So the first thing is they'll panic and all. They'll be thinking like, I want to do this first. I want to do that first. Of course, our job as consultants is to settle them down and say, hey, yes, we have a problem. But what is your message? What do you want to tell the audience? You have to start somewhere where, like, yes, be transparent about the problem, but your headline has to say, like, yes, we're doing something about it. We're coming back with something better or something along those lines. If you want an example, I think I'll give you a very common one. I think you've all been hearing it way back. You all know about the Char Time and Tea Life issue, right? How many of you are Tea Life fans or bubble tea fans here? I think all of you are, right? Most of you, correct? And I think you have heard the story, Char Time, you know, this Char Time and Tea Life fight, which is better and so on and so forth. Okay. I won't dwell so much into details, but it's like one owner, the Taiwanese owner was against the Malaysian owner, our side. There was some disagreement over the contract, so international company dropped everything lah. All right. Of course, our side panic mode. But of course, as consultants, we came in and say, like, yes, this is the problem. So our strategy was, to charm the media. Our intention was to charm the media first. They got the bad news, but we want to charm them with, like, business as usual. Something like that was how I remember how we started. It was business as usual for all the outlets. But behind the scenes, we're working on another brand or fresh new brand. All right. So you all guess it was Tea Life, all right. So the strategy was to calm the media down with a statement saying, it's business as usual. We will update you accordingly, case by case. All right. And then we have something in store for you. So stay tuned for that. All right. And from there, the second initiative was to have a message on how to, you know, say like, we have a totally new brand. We're handling this other case on a separate note. But let's past is past. We're starting afresh with a new brand. So that's how Key Life was born. So I hope I've summed it up all for you easily. But this is how we handle initial stage of a crisis or issues management lah. Yep.
Right. Next question. Do you have more?
Okay. The next question is, can you share insight into post-crisis evaluation and what can we do to improve future crisis response?
Adiba, repeat that again. Sorry. I think that's the questions from Fasihah.
Yeah, what?
Repeat again.
Repeat the question again. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Can you share insight into post-crisis evaluation
Okay.
and what can we do to improve future crisis response?
Well, in a post crisis evaluation, all right. Main thing is you want to see what's the response like in the media or nowadays where social media is concerned, lah. All right. We basically have to study how's the response, like how the media carries the title. Is it in a positive note or a negative note? We go through social media and see what is the majority like positive or is it mostly negative? I mean, that's one of the things that we look into, lah. Yeah. And I would say, for me, on my side, if we find the majority of the news, the media titles, you know, carry our story positively, I think that's a good result, lah. All right. If you're wondering on what next steps to do to, you know, improve such scenarios, I would say it's important, you know, you have very good communications within, you know, with the client and consultancy, and if any other agencies involved. That's, I'm talking from my experience. All right. Because from what I see over the years, there can be some misunderstanding in terms when a client has you know, an agency and a consultant. All right. Agencies and consultants sometimes don't look eye to eye because of the different portfolios or the different messaging or the different way they want to go about with handling the crisis comms or issues management. So I think that is where you have to nip things in the bud first and like to be on a safe wavelength. All right. Sometimes you have to, you know, calm down and like look at where the agency is good at or where the consultant is good at. All right. And then, you know, maybe take each other's advice accordingly. All right. It's not about seeing who's better than the other, but it's about finding a common ground to, you know, sort out the crisis or sort out the issue before it becomes a crisis. That is the way I see it. All right. I hope I answered that, Adiba. Any other doubts, please let me know. Yeah. Okay.
Next question.
Okay. As you mentioned before about the communication channel, we all know that we have so many communication.
I see how you broke up there. Okay. Wait,
How do you adapt for different platforms such as social media, traditional media, and internet communication?
So, okay, that question is
How do you adapt
how do we
crisis
adapt?
for different platform?
It's all about how you analyze the market, actually, to be honest. And I think it's not very hard nowadays because you can see, you know, Facebook, TikTok, or even Twitter for that matter. You can see the difference in, you know, how the comments are or how the person takes to a post, or you can see what kind of post that's been put up, because I feel I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but Facebook is a bit more there's a bit of corporateness in it, a bit. I'm not saying fully, but a bit. So, whereas Instagram, there's a lot of fun with pictures and all that. Twitter is also like corporate fun. I think you can all tell like how much of corporate and how much of fun is in these kind of social media channels, all right? Also, I will come back to my earlier point where you need to know, like the media especially, are they from lifestyle or are they from business? Or you can see the different styles of writing and what target audience. I think you can tell from there what target audience does it meet. All right. If you're wondering how to adapt, again, it comes back to how you. Yes, I mean, under that all these desks or all these different channels, they have different ways of putting your message. But it's all under one umbrella, which is the umbrella is your key message. All right. So from that key message, you find a way like how to, add that lifestyle to it, perhaps, or that business style to it, or that metro style to it. All right. Again, that's why I'm saying it's how you analyze the situation, how you analyze things. I think you all know very well how the social media channels are. Like where to post this, where to post that. I trust you all have over the years, seen how things play out. Yeah. I'm not sure how many of you read the news often these days, but if you carefully study how these media titles carry a headline, perhaps, because sometimes the English media, what they carry is not the same as how the Malay media carry it. All right. I'm just talking from the start of, how they sensationalize the news. All right. Yeah. So yes, you can adapt accordingly with an umbrella of what message you want to say. And then you work your way from there, like on the style of things. Yeah. All right. Fasihah, I hope I answered that. Yep.
So can I add one more question?
Sure, AQIL. Yep.
Yes. So for Indonesia, PR or corporate com, how we measure a success of PR profession? Like for example, a football team. If they win a football match, it's measured as a success for them. But how PR and corporate com measure their success?
Um, how you measure that? I guess I will answer that by you have to see when you come up with a press release or holding statement that you issue to the media to tone down the fever of a crisis or issue. And when you gather all these news reports, let's just say in any agency or consultancy, you have like a news monitoring agency that picks up news for you and you see what headlines they carry and what news story is panned out. So they can tell you exactly like what headline is neutral, what headline is positive, what headline is negative. I think from there, this is where you measure the success of your PR campaign or how you solve the issue. Yeah. So that how you define the success of a PR consultant or PR person is how you deliver your news for the client and how much positiveness you can put out there to the media. That's your success, right? It also comes to social media at some point lah. Let's just say the news release gets put up there or posted up there. Well, it depends. Yeah, you can judge from the comments of your audience, like how much they trust the statement, perhaps. So you can, yeah.
Which means like if the audience understood about the statement, it's like a success to us lah.
Exactly, yes. And the number of coverage that comes with it, all right? So let's just say your team, you have someone to monitor all the news. You can judge from yourself if there's a lot of positiveness, like numbers, a lot of more positiveness than negativeness. I think that's a successful campaign already for you. Yeah. So I wanted to add something, but I it slipped my mind. But yeah, just take into consideration. It comes back to your press release and your holding statement. How strong it is. And if you believe in the positiveness of that message that you want to put out there, I'm sure it will carry through to your respective media or audience itself. So to sum things up, yes, it will depend on what you write and the number of headlines, the number of medias that carry that headline, their respective headline, and you can judge for yourself on the number of coverages that you have that is positive about it. That defines your success. Yes.
Okay, understood.
Mm.
So, uh, did we have more question?
For last question, Mr. Navin.
Yes, Zulaikha. Yes, yes.
Okay. um, Regarding to the crisis response strategy that was stated recently, is it crucial to involve or work together with the legal and regulatory authorities to involve with crisis?
Yes, they are crucial because they know certain things that we common person that do not know. All right, all right. They have strengths in legal stuff, law matters. You need their opinions to go about with your issues management strategy or crisis comm strategy. Yeah, but of course, study the scenario first. See how threatening the scenario is to your image before you involve the legal side of things. All right, which I feel, but of course, no wrong to get an opinion from them, like or share an opinion with them to get an idea, and then execute your plan from there. But if you ask me whether they are crucial, I would say yes, they're definitely very important. In I would say this again, they're important to settle the issue before it becomes a crisis. Yeah, all right.
I think that's all. Yeah, I think that's all of the question from us.
All right, Chief. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Navin,
Most
for
welcome.
sharing your valuable insight. We hope your experience will inspire others in this challenging field. Once again, a big thank you for Mr. Navin for accepting our invitation for this interview. Considering your current commitments, we understand your time is limited. With your insight, we will successfully complete our coursework. Thank you, and until we meet again.
Of course.
Okay.
My best wishes to all of you. Hopefully, what I've shared is very helpful.